The horizon off the Philippines is no longer empty. The USS George Washington, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, has arrived. This is not just a ship, it's 100,000 tons of American power and diplomacy. Its flight deck carries more air power than most nations possess. As it cuts through the South China Sea, it sends a message that's impossible to ignore. This is more than a port call. It's a statement in a region holding its breath. The South China Sea is a critical maritime thoroughfare with trillions in trade passing through each year. When a warship of this magnitude enters contested waters, it's a move on the global chessboard. The USS George Washington is a floating fortress home to over 5,000 sailors and aviators. Its nuclear reactors give it nearly unlimited range and endurance. On its deck, F/A-18 Super Hornets launch into the sky, military might made manifest. But the ship is also a tool of soft power, reassuring allies and serving as a floating embassy. For the Philippines, the carrier's arrival is both reassurance and anxiety, a powerful friend, but a reminder of geopolitical rivalry. It forces tough questions about sovereignty and the costs of being at the center of a power struggle. As the USS George Washington drops anchor, it brings not just military hardware, but the weight of global questions. To understand today's events, we must look back. The US-Philippine relationship was forged in war and formalized in 1951 with the Mutual Defense Treaty. This alliance has meant joint exercises, intelligence sharing, and access to US military technology. US bases in the Philippines once shaped the region's security landscape. The alliance has faced challenges, nationalism, base closures, and shifting political winds. At times, Manila has sought closer ties with Beijing, testing the alliance's limits. Today, with pressure mounting in the South China Sea, the Philippines is turning back to its oldest ally. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement now allows U.S. forces access to key Philippine bases. The arrival of the USS George Washington is the most visible sign of this renewed commitment. It's a modern expression of a 70-year-old treaty. The alliance endures, adapting to a new century's challenges. The carrier's arrival comes amid rising tensions in the South China Sea. China claims almost the entire waterway, overlapping with the exclusive economic zones of its neighbors. At stake fishing grounds, oil and gas, and control of a vital trade route. In 2016, the Philippines won a legal victory at The Hague, but China rejected the ruling and doubled down on its activities. Beijing has built artificial islands, fortified them, and projected power across the region. Chinese vessels now harass Filipino boats and disrupt resupply missions. Confrontations at sea have become routine, pushing the Philippines to strengthen its U.S. alliance. The USS George Washington's arrival is a direct response to this pattern of coercion. The USS George Washington arrives as the centerpiece of a carrier strike group, cruisers, destroyers, and a submarine in tow. This is not just a visit, it's a projection of American power and partnership. In Manila Bay, the carrier is welcomed by Philippine officials and the U.S. ambassador, who calls it a symbol of ironclad commitment. Rear Admiral John Doe emphasizes joint training and a shared commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. Beijing's response is swift, warning against actions that could escalate tensions. Chinese media framed the visit as American hegemony. For the crew, shore leave in Manila offers a chance to build goodwill and experience Filipino culture. These personal connections reinforce the alliance beyond military hardware. The visit is both a show of force and a gesture of friendship. Alliances, after all, are about people as much as power. The carrier's arrival sends political shockwaves through Manila. For the government, it's a show of strength and a boost to public confidence amid Chinese pressure. The U.S. Navy's presence reassures investors and protects vital trade routes. The port call brings a short-term economic boost to Manila's businesses. But there are risks. China is a major trading partner, and closer U.S. ties could invite economic retaliation. Manila must balance security needs with economic realities. Socially, the visit stirs pride and debate. Some see the U.S. as a necessary counterweight, others as a challenge to sovereignty. Protests and discussions reflect deep divisions over foreign policy. The government must weigh the benefits of alliance against the costs of antagonizing China. The debate over the Philippines' place in the world is far from settled. The carrier's visit has made these questions urgent and unavoidable. Security experts offer insight into the carrier's impact. Dr. Evelyn Reed calls it classic deterrence. The U.S. signals to China that aggression will be costly. The goal is to prevent conflict, not start one. Professor David Chen from Beijing sees the visit as provocation, likely to harden China's resolve and fuel a security dilemma. Each side's defensive moves risk being seen as offensive, raising the chance of escalation. Retired Admiral Romulo Santos stresses the importance of joint exercises, building trust, and readiness for real crises. These drills enhance the ability of U.S. and Philippine forces to operate as one. Economic analyst Maria Ocampo warns that any miscalculation could disrupt global supply chains and spike shipping costs. The real issue is the security of the global economic system. The U.S. Navy's presence aims to stabilize not just the Philippines, but all nations reliant on free commerce. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The carrier is both a shield and a signal. The USS George Washington's arrival marks a new uncertain chapter in the Pacific. Expect joint U.S.-Philippine patrols and Chinese naval countermoves. Tense encounters are likely. Southeast Asian nations will watch closely, weighing their own alliances and strategies. ASEAN's unity will be tested as the U.S.-China rivalry intensifies. For Washington, this is integrated deterrence, military, diplomatic, and economic tools working together. But success requires long-term commitment and engagement, not just shows of force. Peace in the Pacific depends on law, dialogue, and restraint, not intimidation. The carrier's arrival has brought tensions to the surface. What happens next will be shaped by choices in capitals across the globe. The central question: will this show of force lead to peace or push the region closer to conflict?